joining me today. In this video, I wanted to show you the habitat that our sheep live in. So I'll go over their fencing that we use and the buildings that they have. We call them sheep shacks that they live in. So come on, let's go take a look. So for fencing, we have field fence that is smaller on the bottom, bigger squares on top, and T-posts. And in the corners we have H braces made out of wooden posts. The H braces are sunk in the ground with concrete. We also have wooden posts set in concrete at the gates to each paddock. Kind of muddy there. I think that pile of old straw is gonna go right there. Help that problem out. Hi, chickens. Again, here on this side of the paddock, we have field fencing with T-posts. And also we plan to add an electric wire. That's what these yellow T-post insulators are for, because up front beyond this paddock we want to put up temporary electric tape fencing so that they can graze that area out there periodically. We like to have the sheep do as much work as possible for us. Here is the main habitat structure for the sheep. We refer to this one as the ram shackle. This is where the rams typically live. It's just a simple design, three-sided building with siding and a metal roof. Keeps them mostly dry and out of the weather, yet provides good ventilation. We can put their minerals in there. And it seems to work pretty good for their needs. This one's open facing towards the west, and most of our weather comes from the south and the north. So this one works pretty good. Occasionally we get weather in from the east, which would be at the back of this structure. Oftentimes we'll find them in here when it's raining with really high winds they don't appreciate. This sheep shack is where the ewes live during the winter time, and also they come in here in some rotations in the summer after lambing. Similar type of structure, metal roof, three-sided building. This one, however, is opening towards the east. So in the rare event that we get weather from the east, it does get a little bit wet in here, but they do like to go in there and shelter out from the conditions whenever they're not out and about grazing. So now that we've seen where the sheep live, some of you might be wondering, is this all really necessary? Do the sheep need to have shelter? I've heard a lot about sheep that don't have any shelter at all. Sheep in the wild, they don't have shelter other than the trees. So why did you provide buildings for your sheep? Wasn't that a lot of unnecessary cost? Well, there's several reasons why we decided to go ahead and build these structures for the sheep. One, we didn't know this ahead of time, but we've seen it after the fact. They do prefer it. They prefer to go in there when the weather's really bad out, a lot of rain, a lot of wind, and they'll go sit in there sometimes for hours at a time and get away from that. And this is our yard paddock behind the chicken coop. And this is our compost piles. So when the sheep are in this paddock, they love to go in here. And that's where they get out of the rain. Another reason why we decided to provide the shelters were for the comfort of not only the sheep, but for us, the human caretakers of the sheep. If we need to have a dry place out of the elements for a new lamb, let's say, or a sheep that's not feeling well, we wanted to have somewhere where we could tend to them and provide for their comfort as well as our own comfort while we're doing those sheep management jobs. That building there is our barn. Let me zoom in on it. We are planning to undertake a renovation. This is where we have them lamb. So the lambs are born in there. The fence, there's a chain link fence around this paddock. So they've got some room there on that side of the barn as well as back here. So inside there where you see that door, it's built out for storage, so we're going to open that up and create stalls and hopefully a handling system and just have a really nice sheltered place for them to give birth to their lambs. So stay tuned for that project. We'll be giving an update on that in the future. So would the sheep survive without having a shelter? Absolutely, I think they would. We don't have a lot of tree cover on our property. We just have those two shrubby areas out there. So they could get some shelter if they went in amongst the brush and the trees there. But I don't know that it's really adequate for them. They would survive, but I'm not sure they would be as happy.